Hey, what's up, everyone? My name's Lionel, and I'm your host for LT Productions, and you are getting another episode of Speak Up, discussing different topics that may be in the news right now. But I appreciate everyone for coming to my channel. Please like this video. You can subscribe if you are willing to. You can share it also, and you can leave your comments below. So, let's get into me speaking up. Okay, all right. So I think I have 4 topics I wanted to discuss that I saw in the news. The first one has to deal with Breonna Taylor and George Floyd. We know that those were 2 different type of civil unrest situations that happened where both of them were, I don't know if I can say this word, the big M'd unjustly. Their lives were taken unjustly, and it was done by law enforcement. Of course, there's been so many debates and battles on when does a police officer cross the line, or are they just doing their job? We know in both of those cases, they weren't just doing their job. And what happened that shook this nation for a little while was with George Floyd that really got the earth. Because it wasn't just the US, it was the world that was coming into unity as one. As far as the police retaliation, the criminals that actually rest within that department and that sanction. So, and we know about Breonna Taylor that came in unlawfully trying to look for her boyfriend and shot her up. And somehow people were arguing that they were just doing their job. Anyways, what's going on is that the Department of Justice moves to drop the police reform agreements that are tied to Breonna Taylor and George Floyd unalivings. On May 21st, the DOJ, Department of Justice, announced it's moving to drop consent decrees. The consent decrees were basically put in motions under the civil rights as in a way to look into to see if anything has been done unjustly in any part of these criminal investigations against people of color. And to, how could I say this? I'm trying to make sure I'm saying it right. Just to make sure, okay, so you did your job well. Well, since we got a new administration, they don't want all that. They want, as we know, that the chief in charge has already said he wants total immunity for police to do what they need to do. It's kind of like he's leading us into this militant type of how can I say? I'm trying to think of the word. This militant type of system. It's just like, do as I say. You know, it's very dictatorship. I'll put it that way, so people don't get too uneasy about using type of racial type of buzzwords out there. But anyways. The court enforceable agreements were intended to address civil rights violations and unconstitutional policing, but have faced delays in court. Basically, even when people have been reporting different things and going to court about the injustice of the police departments locally or whatever, the federal courts or wherever the courts they went to haven't been doing their job. Kevin Trager, who's a spokesperson for the Louisville Mayor Craig Greenberg. Louisville is where Breonna Taylor was unalived. Louisville Metro Government and LMPD will move forward and honor our commitment to meaningful improvements and reforms. In Minneapolis, Mayor Jacob Frey, it's unfortunate the Trump administration it's unfortunate that the Trump administration may not be interested in cooperating with us to improve policing and support our community. But make no mistake, we have the tools, the resolve, and the community's backing to fulfill our promise to the people of Minneapolis. Our work will not be stopped. Those are 2 positive reports. And then we get to Assistant Attorney General, General Harmeet Dillon. He defends the move by saying overboard police consent decrees Divest local control of policing from communities where it belongs. Today, we are ending the Biden civil rights division's failed experiment of handcuffing local leaders and police departments with factually unjustified consent decrees. That makes no sense. So, what actually are the facts that says that this has been wrong? Attorney General or Assistant Attorney General. You know, all we're doing is just reporting what we see that has been unjustly wrong. And to just say that these people are just doing everything right, it's crazy. It's so weird. It's just like, we kept hearing all this DEI stuff. Oh, they're untrained and all that, and in this area and that area, da 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 da. But with the police, it's just like there's no rules. What is that? They're basically people without the sheets, if you know what I mean. Jim Crow era, like, and before, you know. But it's like, and I'm not calling all police that, but basically at this point, it's everyone until you're proven otherwise, in my opinion. And I don't understand why somebody's speaking up, making sure things are done right, and you're trying to say you're muddying the waters because you're trying to say that the police, local police department, should be able to do their job. Well, what happens if they don't do their job? That's the whole thing, and that's why they're fighting in regards to this. So for you to just stand up and act like, oh, they're doing a fine job, again, give me the facts of where things have been unjust and a factual that this has just been garbage. This report comes from the Jasmine brand. Shout out to them. Here's my next topic. Taraji P. Henson calls out Hollywood's lies about black projects. I found this article on Global Grind. Shout out to them. Taraji was visiting or attending the Cannes Film Festivals, and the special event that was happening at the Cannes Film Festival was the Caring Women in Motion talk. Taraji shared taking a month-long sabbatical in Bali after feeling bitter and frustrated with Hollywood inequalities. I made a promise to myself. If I ever got to a point where I'm not serving myself or a character that I play, it's time to walk away. I came back refreshed and with a new perspective. Her new perspective is to confront long-standing industry myths that black-led projects don't sell overseas. She says the narrative was shattered, and I'm putting this on, years ago when Empire was alive. They went over to Paris, and Lee Daniels was conducting a Q&A, and as he's asking questions, I guess pertaining to Cookie or Taraji, he said, why don't you ask her? Taraji wasn't on the stage at the time. He was hiding her in the back. When the demand was out there for at least questions for Cookie / Taraji, then he brought her to the front. It was a surprise to the audience, and she says that the room erupted. Meaning, other countries love black folk. So, Henson emphasized how data backs her frustration. While 54% of top films in 2023 featured women, only 13% featured women of color, and 1% featured women of color over 45. Look, she talked about the days where she had to be graceful and being paid less, but not no more. She also says that my following rides for me. Studios need me because of the audience I bring. That's my power. Taraji says that she has a beauty brand called TPH by Taraji. And she's no longer chasing Hollywood's trophies. Instead, she's reclaiming worth and rewriting the rules. Shout out to Miss Taraji P. Henson and her work. I will say that Monique has been one. Calling out Hollywood. I think those two have been the broader voices. Not saying anyone else hasn't said anything about Hollywood and the unfair treatment between people of color, and then also with their contemporaries, the white folk, if I can say it that way. So, yeah. So shout out to her and to anyone that is fighting for their rights to just get paid and to be treated fairly. They're not asking for anything more than what others are being catered to, and some doing mediocre work. So my next topic is Chris Brown. He has been released on a $6.7 million bail in the United Kingdom assault case. This comes from Court TV, and then later on I'll be reading something from Billboard.com, CourtTV.com. The singer allegedly beat and seriously injured a music producer at a London nightclub in 2023. Brown is charged with one count of causing seriously bodily harm. This music producer slash promoter, his name is Abe Diaw, D-I-A-W, was struck several times with a bottle at the Tate nightclub, swanky Mayfair neighborhood. So y'all going overseas and acting up, and then you decide to go to a swanky area, bougie area, and to cut up Chris. Okay. This was in London, February 19th, 2023. Brown then chased Diaw and punched and kicked him in an attack caught on surveillance camera. There you go. There you go. He's scheduled to appear in court June 13th. So, Billboard reports, after being released, Chris did have a message that he put on his IG. He says, "From the cage to the stage, Breezy Bowl." He's supposed to be having Breezy Bowl in, I think in London somewhere. I forgot where it is. I thought I wrote it down. But anyways, it's over there in Europe on June 8th. So he was ordered to pay $5.4 million with an additional $1.3 million due next week. So basically, what's supposed to happen? He's supposed to be going on tour, this Breezy tour. Other people are on it. I forgot who's all on it, but whatever. I think all I want to say is, for the people that are so advocating for Chris, now you can say, oh, it was Lisa Guy. As I've said in another Speak Up, Chris Brown has been able to lay low, and y'all think that he's better. And I also said that, I don't know, maybe he has been getting help, but there's been no type of record or report of him going to therapy or whatever, doing whatever to work on himself. He's been able to lay low, keep dropping music, and then people just are so in awe with his talent. And I think not just him, I think there's a lot of people that are able to mesmerize people by their talent, and then you just, all morals and decency are thrown out the window. Because it's like, never mind, he can sing his butt off, she can do this, she can act, she can do. Yes, he was violent towards a man this time. If he can go this far to just beat somebody down, you mean to tell me in another situation with another woman, some of this is not going to come out? The residue is still there, y'all. And as much as we love his music, and then some of y'all say we can separate the man from the music. Okay, but when do y'all hold the man accountable? So y'all mean you're just going to turn your eyes and your head, knowing what this man is capable of, and knowing the history, and knowing that history keeps repeating itself. Chris Brown, it's cool that you want to move forward. You know, you got enough people now who are going to support you, and the media isn't drowning you with your past like that, even though a lot of us still in your head. I do want better for you, but I think there's too many enablers out there, including your fans. I don't even want to say good luck, but all I can just say is get better. Get better, sir. All right, so my last topic, which is very short. The Brandy and Monica tour. Supposedly, allegedly supposed to be starting this fall. I said, Lord Jesus, the world is healing. The world is healing. The world is healing. I'm excited for it. And then there's reports that Kelly Rowland and Mooney Long are supposed to be a part of this tour too. There was a link to Ticketmaster, and now that link is gone. No one from Brandy's team, Monica's team, Kelly Rowland's team, or Mooney Long's team has said that there isn't anything. Probably there was a leak, and I think somebody just made a fake link to this Ticketmaster, because I was really trying to figure out where does the tour take off, and it was supposed to be taking off in Ohio or whatever. Look, all I know is I don't need anyone to play with my emotions. I would love to see Brandy and Monica on tour. and Kelly and Mooney Long. I think that, look, they're going to sell. They're really going to sell. So I don't know what's happening with that. But we'll see what happens in the future. But would you guys like that? Because we've been wanting it forever and a day, and we deserve it. And we need the world to heal a lot more. But that's all I have for my topics to speak up. Thank you for coming. Again, like this video, share, subscribe if you are new, and leave your comments. Until the next one, peace.